talk about sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man Pots and Pans, what's the damn deal? Hey, man, we're going to start right off talking about football. NFL owners recently had their annual meeting, and the decision on the future of the Tush Push has been pushed until next month. No pun intended. NFL Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay stressed the issues surrounding the play extend beyond safety because there's not enough data to indicate that it's actually dangerous. The league already said no injuries have been reported on any play that's been a tush push. So they can't say that it's dangerous or it's a safety concern. The league did prohibit pushing or pulling a player back in 2004, by the way. Now, since they didn't do the tush push, they didn't ban it, they kept it. There are a few other rules that the NFL did change. Now, I'm only going to name two other ones, but there's a few other ones that I don't think we really care about. One, regular season overtime rules now match those in the playoffs. Both teams will get a chance to have possession even if the offense scores a touchdown on an opening drive. The proposal also amended to make overtime 10 minutes and not 15 minutes. So we're looking at an overtime change in the regular season. I think that's a nice, unique thing because just to let a team get the ball on offense and score a touchdown, the game is over, seems completely unfair. And also the Detroit Lions proposal for playoff seeding to be based on winning percentage. That was not banned or declined. It was also pushed to May. So there were some reports saying that was completely declined. No, that's false. They're going to decide on that in May as well. So I think two of the biggest rule changes that are up for debate this year will be delayed until next month. It'll be interesting to see how those both turn out, especially the one that's the playoff seeding based on win percentage. Yeah, the tush push is interesting. It's only the Eagles and the Bills that's ever done it. Even though Sean McDermott, the coach for the Bills, said he was completely against the tush push, even though the Bills were the second team to do it the most behind the Eagles. Point is, the tush push, I don't think that affects everybody. But the playoff seeding based on win percentage, that's a big one. And the fact that they didn't decline it yet means this is something that we need to be paying attention to. So I just wanted to put those out there as far as the rule changes. As of right now, still a lot more to be decided as far as the tush push. I don't know if you are a fan of it or not, but it may or may not go. But I know they're saying they're thinking about going back to the rule in 2004 where they said there's no pushing or pulling of a player. That's what it's going to come down to. They're technically aiding a player by pushing or pulling him. They're aiding them to get additional yardage by pushing or pulling, and that is illegal. They can't say that it's dangerous because there's been no injuries. So they're going to say you can't push or pull up a player. But we'll see how that turns out, man. But let me know what you think about that. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-4386. Speaking of the NFL, this was an interesting stat to me. Something that I recently read in the news in regards to the NFL. Now, this isn't necessarily a rule, but it's saying that the NFL official records are going to finally incorporate the All-American Football Conference statistics. 2 decades before the merger of 1969 that created the NFL, the All-American Football Conference, a competitor of the NFL, went out of business at the end of the 1949 season. 3 of his teams, Cleveland Browns, San Francisco 49ers, and the original Baltimore Colts, joined the NFL for the start of the 1950 season for a fourth team, the New York Yanks, was essentially a spinoff of some players that had been part of the AAFC team, the New York Yankees. Interesting. Despite those links to the NFL, all the records for every team and player from the 4 years the AAFC existed disappeared unacknowledged in the NFL record books. Until now, they are officially merging those records. Now, here's the thing. From what I've seen, it's not going to be too many adjustments to the records. There's going to be a couple players who's going to join some lists of top players, of top yardage, and top teams, top championships. But there are like two major things, two major rules or two major records that's going to be broken with this new merger. The most significant adjustment will be Paul Brown's coaching record. Paul Brown, former coach of the Cleveland Browns from the AAFC, if I'm not mistaken. Cleveland Browns with the championship all 4 years of that conference existence. In 2024 NFL record and fact book, Paul Brown is credited with 21 seasons, 166 regular season wins, 4 postseason wins, for a total of 170 career wins, by the way, and 3 championships. That's as of last year in the NFL record book. But Brown coached the Cleveland Browns to the championship in every one of the AAFC's 4 seasons. He won 47 regular season games in the AAFC and 5 additional postseason games. That would then bring his career total victories to 222 and 7 overall championships. His 222 victories will vault him up the all-time wins list. He ain't gonna be first, but in 2024, the NFL record and fact book had Paul Brown in 21st place of all-time wins by a coach. With the AAFC adjustment, he will be in 7th place, just behind Curly Lambeau, who had 229 overall victories, just ahead of Chuck Noll with 209. Wow. Interesting things to learn about Paul Brown in general, who I didn't know about at all, but head coach of the Cleveland Browns, who played for the All-American Football Conference and also he coached in the AAFC, All-American Football Conference, and he also coached in the NFL. So that's interesting as well, and won championships in both. Among the other changes, Marion Motley will be 4th on the list of highest career rushing average with 5.7 yards per carry. I want to say they're talking about quarterbacks. I could be wrong. Ahead of him, Mike Vick, 7 yards per carry, Randall Cunningham, 6.4, and Lamar Jackson, 6.1. And the San Francisco 49ers of 1948 amassed 3,663 yards rushing, which put them in first place all time over the 2019 Baltimore Ravens, who had 3,296 rushing yards. The 1948 49ers averaged 6.1 yards per rush in 1948, which will also put them in first place, just ahead of the 2024 Ravens, who averaged 5.8 yards per run. So we're looking at a few record holders in the NFL who will lose their place, who will lose their first place crown if this merger already happened. So since this merger happened, those are the few things that are changing. Now, obviously the AAFC, those records are set in steel. They'll never adjust. They'll be what they are. But the NFL records can always be broken. It can always be, but the NFL is also adding more games per season, that type of stuff. So it's a little bit different. It might be a little bit easier to break some of these records. I think we should be adjusting them, or at least taking records based on, longevity of the season and based a few things so that it levels the playing field. But other than that, that's pretty much it. How do you feel about them merging the records, the All-American Football Conference with the NFL records? I think it's a good thing. Because nowadays you would watch a game and they'd be like, oh yeah, he just broke the record. He has the most yardage all time since the NFL merger. You'd be like, since the NFL merger? Nigga, I don't know when that was, man. Why do I care? Just give me the all-time. I want the longest play, pause, in the history of professional football. Let's just say professional football in America. I want the most yardage in American professional football history. I want the biggest winning drive, like that type of stuff. I want it to be undisputable about the record holder. And we don't want minor records like the most yards or most passing yards, rushing yards, and a win by a quarterback on a Tuesday and such and such. They don't even play on Tuesday. Anyway, point is we don't want stupid stats. We want stats that matter. The most yards, the most passing, the most that type of stuff ever in professional football. So yes, add these statistics to the record books also. And then when you make a statement on a record, just say overall professional football in American history or worldwide. But other than that, man, I love that they're merging these two. I just want to put that out there. Let me know what you think, though. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-4386. All right, now. Let's get into some NBA. All right, so I want to keep us updated on the NBA. We are getting into the postseason. Postseason is in full effect, pretty much. Not yet, but pretty much. So with that being said, let's start off talking about the situation that happened pretty much as of yesterday, Tuesday, April 1st. The Nuggets lose to the Timberwolves, so their lead is trimmed to a half game over the number 4 Lakers. Grizzlies lose to the Warriors, fall half of a game behind the number 5 Golden State Warriors. The Warriors beat the Grizzlies, so they jump Memphis by a half a game for number 5. Timberwolves defeated the Nuggets, so they pull into a tie for number 6 with the Grizzlies, who holds a tiebreaker. The Suns lost to the Bucks, fall to a game and a half behind the number 10 Kings. Damn. The Knicks defeated the 76ers. They increased their lead to 4 games over the number 4 Pacers. Once again, the Bucks did beat the Suns, so they climbed they climbed within 1 game of my number 5 Pistons. The Hawks lose to the Blazers. They fall 1 percentage point behind the number 7 Magic. I don't even know what that means. Magic beat the Spurs. They jumped the Hawks by 1 percentage point for number 7. And the Bulls beat the Raptors. So they now locked into the SoFi NBA play-in tournament move within a half a game of number 9 Miami. So the Bulls are officially in the play-in tournament with the number 8 spot. So a lot of key things just to keep that in mind. The SoFi play-in tournament starts April 15th through the 18th. First round of the playoffs, April 19th. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, June 5th. The teams that have officially clinched a playoff berth as of right now, Wednesday, April 2nd. In the West, only one team, Oklahoma City Thunder. In the East, though, Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers have all officially clinched a playoff spot in the East as of April 2nd, Wednesday. The teams that have officially been eliminated from playoff contention, there are 7 of them. In the West, the Jazz and the Pelicans. In the East, Wizards, Hornets, Nets, 76ers, and the bum-ass Raptors. I ain't got no vendetta against the Raptors. I just had to put them out there. They all lost. You lost. You can see the standings behind me right here. With that being said, the 2 teams in the East, the 2 teams in the West. Let's get that together. 2 teams in the West and the 5 teams in the East right here. So you can basically see in the East right here, all these teams been eliminated. So this is pretty much the play-in tournament in the actual playoffs. The rest of these teams will officially be in the playoffs and in the play-in tournament. So this is the East is locked in. The West got a few teams remaining that will eventually be eliminated from playoffs. Suns don't get it together, they out of here. And I think that speaks volumes to Kevin Durant and what he does to teams, bro. For your Brooklyn Nets team to get swept, for the Phoenix Suns to get swept or get a gentleman sweep by Minnesota or whatever happened last season, and then this season you don't make the playoffs or the play-in? Kevin Durant, the GOAT, who? The GOAT, where? Man, stop playing with me. It's only a matter of time. Only 6 games left. Only about 6 games left. How many did they play so far? 76. Yeah, 6 games left. It's over. It's over for the Suns. But anyway, this is what we're looking at officially for the NBA, the playoff play-in tournament, and the playoffs in general. What you think about it? Who you got going all the way? Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. When we do another show, we're going to pull up the actual bracket of who's going to be playing who at this point. I could break all that down, but I don't feel like doing all that right now. Couple other topics we're going to float through real quick. So, oh yeah, we got to talk about this. So week 1 and the UFL did start as well, so we got to pay our respects. Now, I did not get an opportunity to watch any of the games like I usually would, but I did keep up with everything that happened for the most part. And let me get this up real quick. There we go. So I did keep up with everything that happened for the most part, and we got the record behind me. Pretty much what happened. Week 1 of the UFL, we had my Michigan Panthers, number 1 in the USFL conference with 1 win, and they beat the Memphis Showboats, by the way. Memphis Showboats 0-1, they last. Birmingham Stallions took an L. Houston Roughnecks took an L. So basically the Michigan Panthers, my Michigan Panthers, based out of Ford Field, Detroit, Michigan, only team with a win in the USFL to start the season off. Shout out to them. In the XFL conference, 3 teams got a win, 1 got a loss. DC Defenders with a win, Arlington Renegades with a win, St. Louis Battlehawks with a win, and then the San Antonio Brahmas were the only team in the XFL conference with a loss. So it's only week 1. I like to keep up with UFL games and just football in general, man. Just these competitive leagues competing with the NFL and the NBA. I kind of respect it. As long as I got access to it, I can watch it. I'm down to watch it. Here's the thing about the Michigan Panthers game, though. They won 26-12 over the Memphis Showboats, season opener. But Samson and Kai Nakua played a major part of the victory. The Nakua brothers. Strong day began in the second quarter when Samson, a wide receiver, caught a 25-yard pass from Michigan quarterback Bryce Perkins. The 27-year-old caught the quick pass from Perkins, turned it around for a 25-yard touchdown, the first of his UFL career, by the way. Then Kai Nakua, safety, was active through the Michigan Panthers' first game. Time for second most on the team with 6 tackles. His most important play is when he intercepted the ball and ran a pick 6, 80-yard touchdown. The Michigan Panthers now shift their focus to week 2 home opener at Ford Field. They was the Birmingham Stallions Friday, April 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. Shout out to my Birmingham Stallions. And shout out to the Nakua brothers. They are brothers of Puka Nakua, a.k.a. Pikachu, from the Los Angeles Rams, bro. So you got some other brothers. Believe it or not, they're actually, if I'm not mistaken, at least one of them is his older brother. Puka Nakua is only what? 23? So we got older brothers in the UFL right now, just trying to showcase their talents, get to the league, hopefully. We've seen it happen. We've seen Jake Bates, a former kicker of the Michigan Panthers, go from the UFL or the USFL at the time to the NFL. And now he's kicking for the Lions in the same field he played for the Michigan Panthers. And I watched that story. Love it. Which is why I like to try to keep my eye on players in the UFL in general now. So, the Nakua brothers playing for the Michigan Panthers, wide receiver and safety, Samson and Kai respectively, something to pay attention to. We'll keep you updated. We'll be watching the games or at least the highlights going forward. But let me know what you think, man, about the UFL in general or about the Nakua brothers. You think they deserve a chance in the NFL? Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show 313-466-4386. Yep, I think that's all right. So let's just do this quick update, man. Quick update on March Madness. March Madness is continuing on, even though both of my teams lost, Michigan and Michigan State. It is what it is. But we got to talk about the Final Four that's going on right now. Our Final Four bracket behind me is not updated on the green screen, but we got Houston versus Duke, Auburn versus Florida. In the in the South, West, East, and Midwest. All number 1 ranked teams out of each one of those regions, by the way. Very interesting. I mean, If you did a bracket where each the number one teams goes to the Final Four, congratulations. That was an easy hit. No underdog story this year, for real, for real. Just number ones doing what number ones do. At the end of the day, the Final Four starts April 5th. That's this Saturday, Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas. And then the championship game will be Monday, April 7th. It's San Antonio as well. Houston versus Duke. I watched a little bit of both these teams play. I'm going to be honest, man. Duke is dangerous. Cooper Flagg, I watched that white boy play. That boy dangerous. He dangerous, bro. But I'm going to give it to Duke. It'd be an upset if Houston can pull it off, but I'm giving it to Duke to go to the national championship through that Final Four. Auburn versus Florida. I only saw Auburn because they beat Michigan and Michigan State. They got some ballers over there. I give it to them. They the Michigan murderers. I'm going to give it to them. Florida, I can't give them an honest assessment because I haven't really watched them. So it would be easy for me to say Auburn in that situation. But I don't like Charles Barkley. I don't like Charles Barkley celebrating that he beat both my Michigan teams. So I'm going to run with Florida versus Duke in the national championship. I think the white boy going to do it, man. Cooper Flagg. Duke all the way, man. As it pains me to even say, as a Michigan and Michigan State fan, diehard Eastern Michigan, by the way, Duke is just an arch nemesis. He an enemy, dog. We don't like Duke. We don't do Blue Devils. So yeah, man, but I gotta admit, man, objectively speaking, Cooper Flagg is a bad white boy. He's a bad white boy. And I want to see him go. Pause. So yeah, Duke. I see them versus Florida National Championship on April 7th. And Duke gets the win. Tell me otherwise. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Okay. We do got a couple other topics we can float through. I forgot about this. Yeah. Back to boxing. How about this? Back to boxing. We do have an announcement to make. A boxer coming back to fight for vengeance. Deontay Wilder. Former heavyweight champion will return June 27th in a 10-round bout versus Tyrell Herndon, in Wichita, Kansas. Promoters, they confirmed on Friday, I should say. Wilder, who's 39 years old, has only won one of his past 5 fights. He was brutally knocked out by heavyweight contender Zhilei Zhang in June, and prior to that was routed by former champion Joseph Parker over 12 rounds. Wilder, who has a record of 43-4-1 with 42 knockouts, is regarded as one of the heavyweight division's most fearsome punchers ever. His championship trilogy with Tyson Fury was memorable despite going 0-2-1. Wilder floored Fury twice in each of the first and third fights. In the second bout, Wilder was stopped in round 7. Now, Wilder will look to notch his first win since October 2022, a first-round KO of Robert Helenius. With his fight against Herndon, a 37-year-old journeyman from San Antonio with a record of 24-5 and 15 knockouts. Herndon has won 3 fights since the second-round TKO loss to undefeated Olympic silver medalist Richard Torres in October 2023. Herndon's last fight was a 6-round split decision in May 2024. Another man, Tyrell Herndon, right here? Yeah. I've never heard of you. Journeyman, so he's a full-time employee, but then boxes also. Not mad at that. Be respectful. You can still knock somebody out. With that being said, we ain't heard of this, man. Big dog, you get knocked out again, bro, or lose a fight, hang it up. 39 years old, go ahead and hang it up, fam. I don't know when your birthday is. I don't know when you turn 40. But, you know, it'd be a nice little way for you to just be like, you know, I'm 40 now. I'm good, man. I had a nice career. I knocked out 95% of the niggas that I beat, bro. Like, stand on that. And then, I mean, listen. Only 4 losses. Only 4 losses. Four losses in the draw. I ain't even gonna worry about the draw. Only 4 losses, bro. I'd be worried when you reach about 15, 20 losses. If you get 15, 20 losses and you still ain't won one, then I'll say, yeah, it's time to hang up the gloves. But it really ain't too bad, to be honest with you. To win 43 fights and knock out 42, nigga, like, yeah. I want to see this man come back, pause. So I'm going to be honest. January 27th, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you think, though. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show, 313-466-4386. Last topic, and I got to get up out of here, man. Like, for real, for real, for real. All right, so last topic. We talking about TGL Golf. You ever heard of this? Have you ever watched it? TGL Golf, they're saying it's bringing in a younger audience. It's looking good. It's looking pretty. Let me get this straight so you can actually see what's going on. Get this image behind me on the green screen up so you can see this. All right, so check this out. TGL Golf, man. The high-tech indoor golf league wrapped its inaugural season last week with Billy Horschel hitting a putt heard around SoFi Stadium to lead Atlanta Drive over New York in the championship. Mike McCarley, the co-founder of Tomorrow Sports, TMRW Sports, with Tiger Woods and Roy McIlroy, began taking notes even before the season started on what can be improved for 2026. The average rating on ESPN platforms was just over 500,000 viewers. Tomorrow Sports pushes that number over 850,000 using Nielsen Big Data Plus panel, which includes smart TVs along with cable boxes. The number that stood out to McCarley was a viewing audience, some 12 years younger than traditional golf, trailing only the NBA. McCarley said the 6 original teams, Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Boston, and Jupiter, will return with few, if any, changes at all to their rosters. Never heard of I talked about TGL with my boy Ricky before, so he told me about it. It's indoor golf. I believe they play at like SoFi Stadium. A couple other stadiums indoors, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they drive it against a screen, like a little virtual golf screen. That's how they drive it. And then as far as putting, they make the terrain on the floor. You can see right here. I'm gonna scoot this up. They make the terrain on the floor. So it's like they make like a replica of what a golf course would look like. And they do like certain little stuff like that. Here, I'm gonna show you right here. So here, look, they got the green. They got the little divot right there. The whatever they call that, the sand. And they just kind of change out the different names. It's very different. There's a crowd. I believe they can make noise, lights, all types of stuff. It's interesting. I don't even know what to say about it. I think it's like the slam ball of golf. I've said this before. It's a new version of a sport that existed. I don't think nobody asked for. Not to say that it's bad, because I used to watch slam ball. As corny as I thought it was, I used to watch it. And as long as I have access to TGL, I'll probably check this out too. They're saying younger people are watching it. They like it. Let's see what all the hype is about. But TGL Golf, have you seen it yet? Are you a fan of it? What do you think about it? It's for a younger audience. It ain't traditional golf fans. It's a little bit younger than that. So that's what they're saying. Let me know what you think about it. I think it's interesting. I will watch it as long as it's entertaining and not as boring as golf. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. About to get up out of here. Do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, share button. We got more shows coming up. More live shows. Might do one again later on today. So go ahead, kick it with KCMC by subscribing, hitting that like button, and share button.
Other than that, we out.